Hey guys, it's your Tech Girl Mary and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So for today's video, finally we will be talking about the Nothing Phone 3A Pro. I actually also have the Nothing Phone 3A, but again, as always, mas gusto kong nire-review yung Pro version ng series, which is why we will be focusing on this one. It was last month only when they launched the series. And kasabayan actually ng launch na to yung iPhone 16e, even the Samsung Galaxy A series. And if you haven't seen my review on this device, you have to because I really like this one. And if you haven't seen my first impressions on the iPhone 16e, you also have to watch it. I love this phone, but I didn't love the price. But yes, on this video guys, the Nothing Phone 3A Pro will also be compared on these phones. On this video, you'll find out how much I liked and didn't like the camera performance of this device, how well it stacked up with the new iPhone 16e and even the Samsung Galaxy A56, and at the same time to answer the question if this new phone from Nothing is practical. Alright, let's talk pricing and availability first. Here in the Philippines, ang Nothing brand mabibili yan sa authorized dealer, which is the Digital Walker. And Digital Walker is both present online, like they have a website, they have it in Lazada, Shopee, and even TikTok Shop. They also have a lot of physical stores on different malls. So yes, you both have an option to get it online or walk in. Now in terms of pricing, the Nothing Phone 3A is priced at 19,990 pesos. And then of course, what we're reviewing, the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, is priced at 27,990 pesos. Actually, during last month, ang ganda nung deal ng pre-order ng Digital Walker. I'm not sure if nakakuha yung ilan dito sa mga subscribers natin, but if you did, it's a steal. Let's start with design. We all know that the brand Nothing is very bold when it comes to this. Although design-wise, it still is similar with how they're doing their Nothing phone devices from the past few years, they still are pretty unique compared to other mid-range phones that we have right now. And it being an A variant from their Nothing Phone 2A series, medyo mas subtle of course yung glyph effect niya. But although by afar or by looking at it, it looks really good, I'll be honest, by holding it, even by touching it, I do find it a bit cheap. It feels a bit plasticky to me compared how this Samsung Galaxy A56 feels on my hand. At the same time, in terms of colors, there's only gray and black. Unlike yung non-Pro, which is this one, this is available in black, white, and even blue. Kwento ko nga lang din, no, when I went to the Nothing launch in Barcelona during the MWC, it was only last month, I was able to talk to some of my global creator friends and they did mention that the Nothing brand, whenever they release a new device in the US, it's always a limited release through their Nothing US beta program. So yes, medyo sad yun. Unlike here in the Philippines, anytime you want, basta may Digital Walker and they have a stock, you can always get yourself one. Alright, so there's nothing much for me to say about its design. I have a lot to say though about its display. In terms of sizing, it's a huge phone. Actually, when I heard that there's going to be a Nothing Phone 3A Pro and I saw the design, I saw the specs, medyo na-weird din ako kasi they called it a Pro instead of a Plus. And yes, going back, when I said that it's a big phone, it really is. It's as huge as the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Here they are, side by side in case you want a bit of comparison. To be exact, it's 6.77 inches of AMOLED display and a refresh rate that goes up to 120 Hz. If you're a fan of huge devices, although I am not one, this will give you more real estate than the Nothing Phone 2A that only has a 6.7-inch display. At the same time, Nothing did input a Panda glass to protect the AMOLED panel from scratches. This is also my first time hearing about a Panda glass. I'll definitely do more research about this and how well it compares with other types of glass that normal mid-range devices use. In terms of display visibility, I've brought this device to 2 countries already, one in Barcelona and one in Singapore. I never struggled na makita yung screen, yung logos, yung text under direct sunlight. I also enjoyed how fast, vibrant, and intuitive the display is. Siguro one aspect lang about this device na medyo na-annoy ako is the optical in-display fingerprint sensor. Preference-wise, hindi ako biggest fan ng optical. Ultrasonic is much better for me because of how fast and accurate it is. Pero syempre, pricing-wise, we have to understand that this is a mid-range phone, so they have to really keep the cost low. I think my only complaint about its design and durability, aside from it feeling cheap compared to its competitor, is the lack of IP rating. Right now, at least late 2024 to early 2025, all mid-range devices offer an IP rating. And I feel like it should really be a default already when it comes to smartphones above 25,000 pesos and above. Now, overall, in terms of design, durability, and even display, I think yung mairereklamo ko lang talaga is hindi siya IP68 rated. It can definitely survive light splashes, but in terms of, again, the competition, I feel like on this part, nothing is behind. Anyway, let's talk cameras. As you can see, we really have a huge camera bump here. When I say huge, you can look at this angle. Kapal, no? Now, cameras. Again, every year naman may bago tayong phone. Lagi namang ganito. Minsan pa nga hindi taon, minsan 6 months. Especially on the camera department, very minor lang yung upgrade most of the time. It's also one of the reasons I always tell you guys to not upgrade every year or every iteration. But I did notice for the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, medyo maganda yung improvements ng camera niya hardware-wise. It consists of a 50 megapixels main shooter, meron din tayong 8 megapixels ultra-wide, and a dedicated 50 megapixels telephoto camera that, do take note, has a 3x optical zoom. Phones at this price point doesn't really get dedicated telephoto lenses, just like what the Samsung Galaxy A56. This one is a really good phone, but sadly, the only thing missing to it is to have a dedicated telephoto camera. So yes, when we say legitimate triple lens, this is what I'm talking about. I appreciate that Nothing did not include a low resolution macro lens just like others. And with how good it sounds on paper, guys, in fairness, I am very pleased with how the images turned out. Maganda yung kulay, not overblown, also not lacking. At the same time, I also really liked how the Nothing camera app looks like. It's clean and straight to the point. But to those who are its first time to be using a Nothing phone, may onting learning curve lang sa kanyang camera setup. At the same time, if you love shooting macro mode, you'll be happy and be pleased kasi yung dedicated telephoto lens nito can also shoot that. It allows you to focus on subjects as close as 5.9 inches away. Although, as someone who loves taking selfies, medyo hindi ko lang nagustuhan na there's not much options to it when it comes to shooting like wide shots or group shots. Now, before we get straight to the performance and even to my verdict, may mga napansin lang ako dito sa Nothing Phone 3A Pro na bago for me that is not found on other mid-range devices. Unang-una, meron siyang bagong button that is called an essential key. This essential key can be found below the power button. Medyo mas maliit lang siya and at the same time, it's not matte unlike the power button. But with its placement, I keep on mispressing it. So akala ko power button or lock button yung pinipindot ko, yun pala yung essential key yun. When you tap it once, this will let you capture your screen and let you add a voice or text note. Actually, at first, medyo complicated siya, lalo na if hindi kayo masyadong gumagamit ng artificial intelligence. Pero if gumagamit kayo ng Google phones in the past, na medyo similar siya with how they do it. Ganito na lang, in layman's, para siyang voice recorder, tapos kunwari isa kang detective na gusto mong pakinggan ulit and you wanna record something important, medyo ganun yung purpose niya. Sadly, there's no way to remap it. So if you're one of those people who doesn't like using it for recording, katulad ko, isa na lang siyang button na nandyan lang pero hindi mo naman gagamitin. Again, you can disable it but you cannot remap it. Now, in terms of performance, the Nothing Phone 3A Pro has a Snapdragon chip compared to its competitor here in the Philippines like Samsung Galaxy A56 that has a MediaTek chipset. Do take note, this is the same chipset that can be found on the Realme 14 Pro Plus that we have yet to review, coming soon. For everyday use, it's actually enough. Especially paired with a 12 gig of RAM. Maraming headroom for scrolling through social media, multitasking, and even AI applications tulad ng Gemini. Although, gaming-wise, it really isn't the ideal chipset. If you like playing games na yung graphic settings maxed out, hindi ito yung smartphone na para sa inyo. Now, in terms of battery life, actually, even with the presence of Glyph, hindi ako masyadong nagka-issue. And do take note, it is also the same battery, which is 5,000 mAh that can be found here with the Non-Pro. Although, just like what Google and even Apple are doing, it doesn't come with a charger. But if you have chargers or power bricks that supports 50 watts of fast charging, then you have to use that kasi itong phone na to is capable of that speed. At the same time, in terms of Android updates, from what I know, it only supports up to 3 years. If you're not the type to upgrade your phone, again, every iteration, gusto nyo every 5 years or to the point that it gets broken, you might want to look for a phone that has a longer software support, just like Samsung and Google. Right now, again, they have Galaxy A56 and Pixel 9a. But in terms of like OS, if hindi naman issue sa inyo yung mga update na yan, kasi nga, again, madali kayo magsawa sa device, gusto nyo at some point nag-upgrade kayo, I believe you'll appreciate how good the UI is. As in, no bloatware. Zero. At the same time, yung mga quick settings niya, yung launcher, yung app mismo, it mostly follow yung setup that is done by Google. So yes, if you want a phone that is clean but still customizable, ito yung mga tipo ng smartphone na dapat binibili nyo. Lalong-lalo na if software ang gusto nyong priority. Anyway, to wrap up our video, again, medyo long-term na rin tong review natin kasi ang tagal bago ko siya na-produce. Medyo mahirap i-criticize yung device na to, although syempre, hindi naman siya perfect. In terms of after sales or warranty, medyo hindi pa kasi ako sigurado kung gaano kaganda or ano yung ibinibigay ng digital walker. Considering din na yung warranty ng Nothing sa US limited din. But in terms of both the aesthetic and yung software niya, I believe bebenta talaga to sa mga Euro market or even US. Actually, any country that doesn't offer much mid-range devices like Oppo, Infinix, Tecno, and even Realme, to name a few. Sa Pilipinas lang naman, or at least what I noticed, na hindi masyadong priority pa ang software. Sad to say, I know. Anyway, that's basically it. Again, it's your Tech Girl Mary, and see you in our next video. Bye!